TikTok being banned is a headline that floats around annually. It comes once a year like Santa Claus and spreads like the common cold, with people thinking this is really the time it's going to be banned, and then never does. However, this time around it's a different kind of ball game. This rodeo's looking a little bit different. All signs are pointing towards TikTok being an extinct dinosaur at the end of next week. TikTok rep has even said that they're preparing for a US shutdown on Sunday, which once again proves I am terrible at predictions. Baba Vanga is frowning. I have been very vocal with my naysaying and bah-humbugging, saying that people are blowing this out of proportion. TikTok's not actually going to get banned. Because we've been through this song and dance so many times, I just didn't put any water into this being the one where it's really gonna just vanish. I'd just be flopping my veiny cock on people's chins about it, saying, you gotta wake up, it's not happening, and then, well, January 19th at the latest, it looks like we'll be living in a post-TikTok society. What that looks like is anyone's best guess. There could be mangled corpses in the streets, buildings on fire as former TikTok stars start cranking JoJo Siwa dances and IHOPs and posting the videos desperately to Instagram Reels. Who knows? I'll go ahead and tell you where I stand on this, and I stand pretty tall, 5'6". It's a topic that's been pretty tricky for me. I've been pretty conflicted on it. It's no secret I'm not a TikTok enthusiast. I think TikTok has been a net negative for its users, and I think there is very real data and evidence to suggest that it has had a very harmful effect on people's ability to focus. That being said, I think it has also been an invaluable tool for, small companies as well as individuals to make a career out of basically nothing. An example that I use from time to time is someone like Queso, who I think is probably one of my favorite content creators on the internet in general right now, and TikTok is what really helped elevate him and put him in the public sphere. And having a tool that's able to do something like that is just really very cool, and a lot of businesses also attribute their success to being able to promote through TikTok. So there's a lot of good that has come from it, as well as getting information out about very important things going on in the world. So there is value there. Overall, though, I can't help but feel that on the whole, TikTok has not been a good thing. It hasn't really been a boon. It's been more of like a curse, giving people fucking TikTok brain, poisoning them. That being said, I am very much against censorship and very much in the camp that people should be able to make decisions for themselves without the government telling you what you can and cannot download on your fucking app store. I don't like Uncle Sam kicking down my door and uninstalling TikTok from my phone or whatever, even though I don't use it. There's very real concerns with TikTok as a platform. Yes, obviously it's harvesting your data. Yes, there is a actual concern with that, as well as the ability for TikTok to influence certain things and hide certain things. There are real arguments against it, but all of those arguments against TikTok are also arguments that can be used against Meta, Google, everything, because all of those platforms do the same shit. The difference with TikTok is an American company doesn't get to have that influence, and they don't get to have that sweet, sweet data that they love to collect and sell to China. Instead, through TikTok, China just gets it off rip. And that's really, to me, the core of why the TikTok ban is going through, because they want an American company to be able to capitalize off of your data, which is business as usual for some of the big boy behemoths in the tech sector, like Meta and Google. That's a core part of the shit they do, which is spying on you and harvesting your data. It's not like a conspiracy, that's pretty well known. Just to boil it all down to where I stand, even though I don't like TikTok, I still think people should have the freedom to download it if they so choose. I just hate the idea of relinquishing freedoms like this. I just don't like giving them the green light to just take things away like that. Just micromanaging what apps you can even have access to in the first place. This is an extreme example, but just picture a future like this. Oh, Charles, we see you were trying to download that unofficial notepad app on your phone. That's not owned by an American company. You need to use our pre-approved Patriot Pad. So we're going to uninstall that previous one and get you set up here. I think that shit sucks. So overall, I'm not thrilled that TikTok's going to be banned. And also, there's people that are just being a bit delusional about it, thinking that somehow this is going to heal society. All of a sudden, people's brain rot will be cured. No, goofball. They're just going to go to the numerous alternatives that are offered by American companies. like YouTube Shorts, like Instagram Reels. Well, Instagram Reels I keep hearing is a complete fucking cesspool, so maybe not Instagram Reels, but mainly YouTube Shorts. And also, apparently, tons and tons of people are going to a different Chinese TikTok clone called Red Note, which is something we talked about on stream. I'll go ahead and play some of those clips. Yeah, I'm here to find out tonight if TikTok is actually getting banned next week. We'll see. We're gonna do some big time digging. Yeah, I was just learning about this new TikTok app called Red Note. So it's a Chinese social media app that's basically just TikTok again, but this time not in English. So it's looking like tons of people are flocking to it. Yeah, the 19th is when we're gonna know for sure if it's actually banned. But they do this every year. Every year for like the last 4 years, they have this whole hoopla, time to ban TikTok. Unless TikTok gets bought out, it's banned. And then it comes time to play hardball and it's like, that's fine. But next time it's really fucking getting it. We're putting the wood on it. I don't understand why they want to ban it because it's a Chinese company. We've talked about this a lot over the years because this happens like clockwork with the whole TikTok ban fear wave that sweeps through and them posturing that they're going to do something. I don't know if TikTok's going to be bought. We can look into it. I know Elon was posturing that he's going to buy it. I know, I think it's Kevin O'Leary was saying he's going to buy it. I would be shocked if it gets bought. But we can see if there's any, like, weight behind it. Spoiler alert, there wasn't. There's no shot Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank is walking away with that handshake deal. And also the rumors of Elon Musk purchasing it were unfounded. In fact, one of the reps for TikTok said that they don't engage in that kind of fiction. So it doesn't look like it's going to get sold. Also, it doesn't seem that TikTok itself wants to even play ball with this. It seems like they're very against it. They're currently planning to just cease U.S. operations for the platform on Sunday, saying that when people open the app, they'll see a pop-up message directing them to a website with information about the ban, and also that they're going to give users an option to download all their data so they can take a record of their personal information. However, they did say that if the ban does get reversed, it'd be able to restore service to US users in a relatively short period of time. America would not be the first to ban TikTok, with something we talked about on stream as well. India actually banned TikTok a little bit ago. Oh, wow. No, they actually banned it 4 years ago. Around the same time we were toying around with the idea. TikTok and 58 other Chinese-created apps were banned completely in India. So did something come and take its place, like fucking Hydra? Let me see. So June 2020, it was banned. Citing the threat to national security and sovereignty. So something did take its place. TikTok users and content creators needed a place to go. Ban provided a multi-billion-dollar opportunity to snatch up a big market. Within months, Google rolled out YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. Both mimicked short-form video. And it looks like they went there. This kind of surprises me. In India, TikTok decided not to go to court, but the US is a bigger revenue market for them. Also, the First Amendment in America is fairly strong, so it's not going to be easy for the US to do this as it was in India. I'm surprised they wouldn't try and fight it in India. That's a huge market. A lot of them went to Chingari too. Never heard of that. Is that a TikTok clone? Oh my god, I hate these websites! Someone needs to buy all of these mainstream journalist websites and just burn them to the fucking ground. Jesus! I'm not gonna subscribe for $1 a month to read fucking 2 paragraphs. Is it bad? I would rather TikTok goes down so people can start doing something better for themselves than watching short videos for hours wasting time. It's super cute that you think that would change anything. People in preparation for a potential ban have already flocked to another TikTok adjacent platform called Red Note, which is just a Chinese TikTok alternative. There's 2 things you would never confuse me as: a tall person and a fan of TikTok. I've made it pretty clear over the years that I think TikTok has been largely detrimental to the development of the younger generation, as well as just overall a negative effect on people as a whole. in particular the attention span of people. I really think that this is going to be something that'll be studied for decades to come. When we reach a point where human beings can't sit down for more than 30 seconds without squirming in their chair if they're not blasted with, finger family jingles and just perpetual stimulation from GTA gameplay and Subway Surfers. Like, I do think it has had a noticeably awful effect on people's brains. However, there is something I love. Freedom. I love it more than Garfield loves lasagna. My blood runs red. My belly's filled with cheeseburgers and brewskis. When I have a birthday party, I ask the attendees to sing the Pledge of Allegiance instead of the Happy Birthday song. If I wasn't a human, I'd be an eagle. That's how much I love freedom. God damn it. God bless. So, I think it's a beautiful thing that we have the freedom to download TikTok and subject ourselves to that fucking mind rot. And this is something that I've covered for a few years now because this is like a boogeyman that keeps rearing its head occasionally, like some kind of cameo in every season of the United States with the whole TikTok ban. That's been a proposal for years now, but recently it's been gaining a lot of steam, and today the president has signed a bill that will force a sale of TikTok, and if they don't divest after 9 months, they will be fundamentally banned. So TikTok is a very shady app, and there's been a lot of shadiness that's been reported in it for years, and it's even been deemed a national security threat due to the potential of China using it to collect data on Americans. This is something I'm sure all of you know. This isn't some kind of surprising plot twist here for all of you. And I'm sure all of you also know that there's no such thing as privacy anymore. Every single one of you watching this right now is actively having your data harvested and sold. But typically, your data is being sold by American companies. This is pretty rare in that it's a Chinese app that gained mainstream adoption by Americans, thus they are the ones that are getting the data as opposed to American companies. And the government's not super happy about that. So, if TikTok is not divested within 9 months to an approved buyer, then it's going kaput. It's going to vanish like that. It's going to be banned. TikTok CEO has even made a video going over all of this to its users, and it seems like they're going to be fighting tooth and nail here to push back against this. They believe it is unconstitutional. Before showing you the video, I'll read their statement. This unconstitutional law is a TikTok ban, and we will challenge it in court. We believe the facts and the law are clearly on our side, and we will ultimately prevail. The fact is, we have invested billions of dollars to keep U.S. data safe and our platform free from outside influence and manipulation. This ban would devastate 7 million businesses and silence 170 million Americans. As we continue to challenge this unconstitutional ban, we will continue investing and innovating to ensure TikTok remains a space where Americans of all walks of life can safely come to share their experiences, find joy, and be inspired. Now, over the years of this TikTok tug-of-war that we've been seeing in the headlines about will it be banned, will it not be banned, I've kind of flip-flopped on my opinion of that. I negatively view TikTok. I don't have a good impression of it because I think the good on it, which undeniably there is good things that have come from TikTok, by giving everyone a voice, there is moments where it's able to highlight very important problems that are going on, and there are good content creators on there that are providing high quality entertainment and educational entertainment at some points on TikTok. It's also been huge for businesses, like just normal mom and pop businesses like that have been utilizing TikTok as a way of growing and flourishing. It's been super helpful to a lot of businesses. However, I feel like all of this is outweighed by the overall culture that TikTok has kind of fostered, where the most popular content is the ones that have Subway Surfers gameplay with cutting soap videos plastered on there because they know that the audience can no longer focus on just one video anymore. It needs to be constant stimulation and jingling keys to keep them there because it has damaged people's ability to focus. And also, a lot of the content that blows up on TikTok is the content that is just literally wrong, like fake garbage that serves just to fearmonger. Like, for instance, the easiest example, the solar eclipse. There were thousands of videos about the solar eclipse about to open up a demon portal because CERN's working behind the scenes during the solar eclipse, or like the red heifer's been sacrificed so the Antichrist is being summoning during the solar eclipse. All kinds of mumbo jumbo that serves just to keep the audience on TikTok scared and stupid, so that way they're constantly spending money to stop being scared and feeling stupid. So it's all very, like, there's some evil shit on there. It's also very dangerous, because there's a lot of things that blow up on there that actually just get people killed, like the blackout challenge, or like the Kia challenge where you're stealing cars. I could go on and on shaking my fist like the angry old man on the lawn, but I don't need to, because all of you, I think, know that. But even with all that being said, I still overall feel that it's important that people have the ability to make choices for themselves, and if they choose to download TikTok, they should have the ability to do so. I don't like the government being the one to decide what you can and cannot access in regards to like an app on your phone. Now, in this case, I do recognize that TikTok is significantly shadier than most of the other major companies out there, but still, I think it is a scary precedent if the government is able to just start banning things that they don't like. Obviously, within reason, if it's just purely illegal content and distributing just a bunch of illegal criminal shit, clearly slap that down. That makes sense. But come on, it's a social media app. Like, who's to say there won't be another major platform or service that pops off in the United States that isn't owned by the United States? And who's to say they won't be like, okay, fuck them. We were able to ban TikTok. Let's go ahead and ban these guys too. It's not American made. We don't want it here.
Hi everyone, it's Show here. As you may have heard, Congress passed a bill that the president signed into law that is designed to ban TikTok in the United States. That will take TikTok away from you and 170 million Americans who find community and connection on our platform. Make no mistake, this is a ban on TikTok and a ban on you and your voice.
I don't think there's anyone on the planet that's making the mistake and thinking that it's not a ban. There's no smoke and mirrors here, no diversion. They're not mixing any words here to try and confuse you. It is just straight up a ban. Like, they're not hiding that fact. They either sell TikTok to an approved buyer, or they can no longer have TikTok in the United States.
It's actually ironic because the freedom of expression on TikTok reflects the same American values that make the United States a beacon of freedom. TikTok gives everyday Americans a powerful way to be seen and heard, and that's why so many people have made TikTok part of their daily lives. Rest assured, we aren't going anywhere.
I'm not going to play any more of this because it's mainly just a video letting the community know that they are going to be fighting as best they possibly can against this, and also a lot of it's just talking about how special TikTok is, like it's such a wonderful, joyous place with sunshine and unicorns. Like, you know, it's delightful on TikTok, and we want to preserve that, so that's what we're fighting for. That's not what you're fighting for. You're fighting for TikTok so hard because it's such a massive moneymaker that has a huge adoption in the United States. You don't give a fuck about, like, the actual culture on TikTok. If you did, there'd be significantly less degeneracy on it, I imagine. Like, there is, like I said, even aside from, like, the data stuff and the spying potential, there have been some legitimately shady things going on with TikTok. The reason why they want this so badly to avoid divesting and avoid being banned is because it makes so much money. And they have so many users in the United States that they do not want to lose, and they do not want to give over to a different company, obviously. So yeah, anyway, I guess we'll see if TikTok is banned within the year, and if it is, that's going to be pure fucking pandemonium as people flock to, like, YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, I suppose. But anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. There's one headline that pops up pretty often that I'm sure all of you are used to seeing now. It's like a Stan Lee cameo in the news cycle. TikTok being banned. It's here all the time, like this looming menace. Any day now, TikTok's gonna get banned. The boogeyman will be destroyed. And every single time, it seems nothing happens and nothing changes. But yesterday, there was a pretty sizable development in this whole anime arc, where Congress voted 50-0 about going forward with the TikTok ban. assuming they don't divest. So it's a really interesting situation where I'm still not convinced it's going to be banned because there's just too much money at play here. And I've just seen this song and dance too many times. You can only puff out your chest for so long before it just becomes no longer meaningful. But I'll be honest, there's a little part of me thinking like, damn, they could actually just ban TikTok this time around. It was so bad, in fact, that TikTok themselves sent out like an APB to their users, like, hey, we need to get everyone on the horn here to contact your congressman and let them know what TikTok means to you. So TikTok weaponized the airwaves and gave their users all the tools needed to contact their congressman as quickly and efficiently as possible. So they spearheaded fucking Operation Piss Baby, where people started calling these congressmen and complaining, saying about why TikTok shouldn't be banned, this and that. There were allegedly so many calls from so many disgruntled users that they had to shut off their phones because people kept shaking their fist at them. And that does seem pretty significant considering TikTok itself seems to be scared about this new Congress vote. So perhaps there really is a chance that it gets banned, and that would be one of the most shocking things I think I've ever seen with a company of this size. I feel like what's most likely to happen is TikTok eventually will just play ball and divest, and that'll be that. TikTok will persist. It's just so big. It's massive. And it's not just normal, like average everyday users, like average Joes. It's businesses now that invest so much money into TikTok. It's all of these corporations now. It has been heavily commercialized, even outside of just people sending goofy dances back and forth. There's so much money wrapped up in it. I just don't see it vanishing. And it's become such a massive marketing tool for so many companies. I would be beyond stunned. But anyway, I went over it on stream, diving into all of the thorough details. So I'm just going to go ahead and play those clips so you can get caught up to speed on why it's looking down the barrel of a potential ban and what's exactly going on with it. Did you see Congress just pass legislation to ban TikTok in the United States? I feel like we get that headline once every 6 months at least. I don't believe it, but I'll take a peek here. This happens all the time. And then eventually it just peters out like, it's okay. TikTok can stay. Members of Congress are being flooded with calls from angry constituents after TikTok launched a new campaign warning its users that the Chinese-owned app was at risk of being shut down in the U.S. Why it matters. A key House committee voted unanimously Thursday afternoon to advance bipartisan legislation that would force ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, to divest its ownership of the app within 165 days. Didn't they already do this? I thought that was like one of the main stipulations for how it continued to survive. No, they just kept complaining about it. Oh. The highly unusual 50-0 vote in the House of Energy and Commerce Committee, which unveiled the bill 2 days ago alongside the China Select Committee, reflected the level of anger among some members of TikTok's pressure campaign. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise announced Thursday he would bring the critical national security bill to the House floor for a vote next week. The White House has indicated that President Biden would sign the bill, injecting new urgency and aggression into TikTok's campaign to counter the years-long efforts to address the app's national security risks. The flood of calls to congressional offices, which began Wednesday night, was triggered by a notice on TikTok app warning users of a total ban that would damage millions of businesses, destroy the livelihoods of countless creators across the country, and deny artists an audience. After asking users to enter their zip code, TikTok then directed them to call their representative in Congress to let them know what TikTok means to you and tell them to vote no. Oh, that must have been like the worst 24 hours for these geriatrics, getting calls from fucking little Jonathan. Hey, TikTok really means a lot. I go on there and watch all these really cool dances. You know you can buy plutonium online for $50? I did not know that. I don't know what I'd ever do with plutonium, but if I ever need it, now I know it's available. Now it's looks maxing. Yeah. No, it's just only looks maxing. Mewing tutorials out the wazoo. Inhaling toxins. I understood that reference. That's about the chroming, right? An 11-year-old just died from that, and Twitter was dunking on him for being stupid, which is like the most Twitter thing ever, insulting an 11-year-old. Wait, chroming like fucking Mad Max? Yeah, the trend was like you spray your face with I don't even remember what it was now, but they used some kind of aerosol which obviously has toxins in it, and an 11-year-old apparently passed away from it. And Twitter, like, the comments were just eating the kid alive, insulting his family, insulting the kids, saying natural selection wins again, rest in peace bozo type shit to an 11-year-old. Literally like a fucking 4th grader who just fell victim to the brain rot on TikTok, seeing all these other people doing it, so they do it themselves. Phones are completely bogged down hearing from students, young adults, and business owners who are all concerned at the option of losing their access to the platform, a senior GOP aide told Axios' Julia Grace Brufk. The authors of the bill responded furiously to what they call a massive propaganda campaign, emphasizing that TikTok would not be banned if ByteDance divests its ownership. TikTok is characterizing it as an outright ban, which is of course an outright lie. House China Select Committee Chair Mike Gallagher told reporters, "I guess if you got $1 bajillion, you can come up with some crazy public affairs strategy. But it's backfiring as members are livid about the calls and misinformation. So bad we turned phones off, which means we could miss calls from constituents who actually need urgent help with something." I wish TikTok would be shut down. I don't think it's going to happen. I think no matter what, it won't be shut down. Even if ByteDance refuses to divest its ownership, I still don't see it happening. I think it's just too big. There's too much money at play. We should all gritty in front of the Capitol and protest. Yeah, just hit the say so dance out there, bring world peace, like that Pepsi commercial. There will always be another TikTok replacement. Well, it's called YouTube Shorts. But regardless, I don't see TikTok actually being shut down no matter what. TikTok is banned on federal devices, and Biden administration officials helped with the bill's technical language, but the Biden campaign joined the app last month in an effort to reach young viewers. Wait, you tell me Sleepy Joe's on there busting out some moves? What's the Joe Biden content looking like on that app? Man throwing it in a circle? Fucking seductively licking ice cream at the camera? I'm super curious now. Hold on, let me see his campaign. In a video captioned, "Lol, hey guys," Biden answered fun Super Bowl related questions such as game or commercials, and Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey. Oh man, he's killing it. Where is it? Oh, wait, this actually is it.
Great quarterbacks, hard to decide. But if I didn't say I was for the Eagles, and I'd be sleeping alone. My wife's a Philly girl.
Game or commercials?
Game.
Game or halftime show?
Game.
Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey?
Mama Kelsey. I understand she makes great chocolate chip cookies.
Deviously plotting to
Damn,
rig the
that
season so
Riz.
the Chiefs would make the Super Bowl, or the Chiefs just being a good football team?
You get in trouble if I told you.
Trump or Biden?
Are you kidding? Biden.
Chiefs or Niners?
Damn, he's killing it. He's doing it. He's fucking doing it. You can't ban TikTok now. Joe Biden's hitting his stride. He's finally going to fulfill his lifelong dream of being a TikTok superstar. It can't be banned now. It's not getting shut down no matter what. Joe ain't got nothing on Hillary. She was dabbing with the best of them. Did she dab? I don't remember that. I remember the Pokemon go to the polls, and I remember... I don't think it was Hillary, but there was some other politician that did like the sexy grind trend, which was an interesting strategy. The White House also briefed around 70 digital content creators and influencers, many who are prominent on TikTok, ahead of Biden's State of the Union speech on Thursday. Multiple polls have found TikTok to be the top source of news for Gen Z and an increasingly popular source for Americans overall. What does this mean? The White House briefed around 70 digital content creators and influencers. What, do they have content creators on staff? They called a State of the Union internally for their 70 content creators on TikTok. Guys, get in here. Big news. DEFCON. We're going to try to meet the American people where they are, White House Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre told reporters when asked if the campaign's embrace of TikTok sent a conflicting message. "It doesn't mean we're not going to try to figure out how to protect our national security." The bill marks the latest effort in what has become one of Washington's longest-running tech dramas, which began in August 2020 when President Trump ordered ByteDance to sell TikTok. Yeah, I thought that's what happened, too. I thought I remembered reading they did. That effort was held up in court, and for most of the Biden administration, the company's fate in the U.S. has hinged on a long-awaited and still pending decision from the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. Last year, the White House National Security Council threw its support behind the Restrict Act, a different bill aimed at TikTok that has languished in the Senate. Gallagher called on Biden to address the threat posed by TikTok's Chinese ownership in the State of the Union address. It's incumbent upon him to talk about our foremost national security threat, which is Chinese Communist Party, and this is part of that threat. I think the president would be wise to focus squarely on what we can do together, as Republicans, as Democrats, as Americans, to stand up to increasing communist aggression. There was a time when Vine was the biggest. Yeah, but Vine didn't get shut down by the government. It got shut down by the creators. Secondhand embarrassment is a very real phenomenon. It occurs when you witness something that is so grossly turbo cringe that your body has a fight or flight response and fills you with shame from just having watched it, even though you weren't directly involved in the situation. I think the number one cause of secondhand embarrassment is bad stand-up comedy. So, like, what's the deal with airline food? Salt shakers, you fill them up, and then where does it all go? Like, when a stand-up set bombs, I feel like most people get embarrassed for the person up there. But today, I got so much secondhand embarrassment, I feel like I got a year's worth of shame in one afternoon, thanks to the TikTok congressional hearing that happened. This was an absolute mockery of the entire country. It was absolutely foul. It was painful to watch. So I'd like to show you just a few of the clips. The whole thing was about 5.5 hours long, and I can't imagine anyone can make it to the end without puking. It's brutal. It has everything you're probably imagining, tech illiteracy and horrible questions out the wazoo, all wrapped up into one 5-hour endurance test of the human patience. In a nutshell, there's been a lot of controversy about TikTok and TikTok bans, like banning on government phones, which I do agree with. I don't think there's any argument to be made that a fucking government or someone in power person should have TikTok on their phone just because of potential security risks associated with it. And this has expanded into a lot of other big debates around it. I am not a personal fan of the platform in general. I don't really use it that often. Plus, I think it's been extremely detrimental to the actual mental health and attention span of human beings. Because now, I don't know if you go on TikTok often, if you go on TikTok and it's someone just talking about something or a clip of something, there is always Subway Surfers, Rocket League, or GTA playing underneath it in order to keep your attention, because people need such constant stimulation and jingling keys. If there's not like 3 separate videos of like bars of soap getting cut for satisfying videos, or Rocket League freestyling while the core video itself is playing, they click off. That shit is just so pathetic. It's actual brain rot behavior. I am very curious to see in 10 years if that's going to be the commonplace for everything in the world. Like if movies now are going to be like playing a movie, but then also underneath it, another separate movie, making sure that your attention is captured. Like, it's so baffling just how far the attention span of humans is degrading, where they can't watch a fucking 30-second video without 3 other videos also playing to keep their attention. But with all of that being said, I still don't want to see it nationally banned or any shit like that. And the reason's very simple. Because I like a world where people have the freedom to choose what they do with their whole life, pretty much. So if you want to download TikTok, you should. Even in spite of potential security risks to your privacy or whatever, that should entirely be on the individual's choice. Does the entertainment the platform offer outweigh the potential security risks to your data being sold or whatever? That's up to the person to decide. That's my ideal scenario where people have the freedom to make their own fucking choices there when it comes to some shit like this. I've made it clear I'm no fan of TikTok. I am also very confident that there is a huge level of like spyware with TikTok associated with it, more than the CEO lets on. But holy shit, this congressional hearing or whatever has done nothing but make the CEO of TikTok look like a patient saint. Like an actual Zen master to deal with the unhinged lunacy and out-of-touch questions those fucking fossils were throwing his way. It blew my mind. It blew my fucking mind. Her, oh my god, she's so dumb. She kept asking him questions, but instead of letting him answer, she'd just say, yes, yes, yes. And then she pulled up a random shitpost on TikTok like, you see this threat? Oh, fuck me. Yeah, so she pulled this up and she's like, look at this. Outrageous. It's not a viral post or anything, by the way.
That video was posted 41 days ago. As you can see, it is captioned me as F.
Dude who asked about TikTok using Wi-Fi? I don't remember, but I think they were trying to make a bigger point. And this is really giving a very charitable a bone to the person who asked the question. I think what they were getting at with asking about Wi-Fi is he was trying to state that if one device is connected to a network, it can access everything on that network, which it can, but he couldn't ask the question because I don't think he really fully understood it. But again, I'm doing a very charitable service trying to even make some sense out of that awful question. This accomplished nothing except making their CEO look better. Full-heartedly believe there is a lot more fishy shit at play on the back end of TikTok, but they did not even get close to the bottom of it because they couldn't even wrap their head around what an app on your phone is. It's tragic.
Mr. Zhang Fuping is the editor-in-chief.
He's not.
My colleague, Representative
Just doesn't even let him say it or talk.
minutes ago exposed that TikTok and ByteDance share legal teams. You confirmed this, correct?
Our general counsel is
Yes.
an
Yes or
American lawyer,
Yes.
veteran of Microsoft.
Also, my
many
colleague, Representative Latta, confirmed that your parent
Fucking
company,
worthless.
ByteDance, currently can access user data. Yes?
years. We have to be more
Yes.
specific.
Yes.
After
You
Project
say-
Texas, no.
I'm not asking after Project Texas, I'm asking now. Yes.
Some user data is public data, Congresswoman, which
So
means
you confirm
everybody
that.
can search
What's
for it on the
interesting
internet.
to me is that you have used the word transparency over a half a dozen times.
So, doesn't seem to understand that when you ask a question, you should wait for an answer instead of fill in your own blanks here. So, her asking about the data that they're accessing, he talks about the public data, which is something every app in the world accesses, even that computer she's on right there. I bet she's logged in on Twitter. That uses all of your fucking data too. I bet she has a Facebook account. That not only accesses all of your data, it sells it too. All of these apps do that. What they needed to get to the bottom of is more in line with like what is TikTok specifically doing with that data and how it relates to like the CCP and shit like that. But instead they're so hung up on like public data. You're accessing public profiles. That's creepy. That's something one of the guys said. It's so fucking crazy. And for some reason they don't even let him answer, so they get no answers. They get nothing out of this. It is fucking worthless. It is a complete waste of time. They said they were watching children's public profiles, which was creepy. Everything's watching every public profile ever. That's the whole point of it being public. It gets scanned in these systems. That's not exclusive to TikTok. Twitter does it. Facebook does it. YouTube does it. Everything does it. Literally everything. We threw away our privacy long, long ago. TikTok is just a little more nefarious, potentially, with what it uses that data for, at least based on like reports from a year or two ago. Not meant to be informational or useful, it's meant to grandstand for campaigns. It's actually tame compared to everything else, and, well, I guess maybe. It's still so stupid, though, because this doesn't do anything to further anyone's agenda here. Everyone that asked him questions today looks like a bumbling fucking buffoon. A genuine moron. Like, I feel like all this does is shake people's confidence in their elected representatives here. They couldn't they couldn't ask a good question. Were they like this with Mark Zuckerberg? Yes, they were. It was just as bad with Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg sat in the same hot seat as this guy did, and he got bombarded with just as stupid questions. If I remember correctly, one of the Facebook questions was, do I need internet to connect to Facebook? Or something like that. We are not getting anything out of this garbage. What do you think their approach should be on this topic? Hand it off to people that understand it. Clearly, this woman doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. At all. She has no clue what's going on right there. And she clearly doesn't even want to get answers because she's too busy answering herself. So get someone who gets it, have them ask the questions, and come up with the questions to begin with. Delegate. This is clearly not her strong suit. She's not even old! That you can't just keep using the excuse of they're all fucking geriatric. She is not old. She is willfully stupid. And still tries to act like an authority on the topic. She pulled up a fucking 400 view shitpost to try and use it as a point that completely fell flat. And then doesn't even let the guy answer her questions because she's too busy answering herself. Now, while she may have come to this hootenanny unprepared and made me ashamed to be a Floridian, she did mention something that I think is important to talk about briefly, which is Project Texas. Project Texas is something TikTok did to appease the US. In a quick nutshell, Project Texas is US user data being sent to Oracle, which is on American soil, as opposed to going anywhere else. So all of the US user data will now be on American soil, and Oracle kind of oversees the whole thing.
On a device in one pocket, but download it on your device in the other doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I believe Congress and DoD should address the continued use of TikTok on military installations, as well as any use that depicts U.S. military operations. Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the...
So if I have a TikTok app...
Again, this is being very charitable. I think the point he was trying to make is when it accesses the Wi-Fi, it has access to all of your devices that are within that network, which every device that accesses your Wi-Fi does. That is factual. That is true. Which is actually something that happened to Kaya. He downloaded a burglar broke in and downloaded a torrent, and it came with a virus, which infected multiple devices that were on his network. It is known that when you are on a Wi-Fi network, it connects to more than just the single thing that's connected to it. It's everything there. So I think his point was, can it access my other devices? Which is why he's talking about, like, downloading on a device next to me. Shit like that. But the way he asked that question is so bafflingly stupid that even the TikTok CEO is like, fucking obviously, it's going to access your Wi-Fi if you turn it on, right? Like, it's just craziness. So have someone who understands what the fuck they're talking about be the one to ask these questions. I think you gave him too much credit. He probably thinks Wi-Fi is a radio. Again, it's a very charitable interpretation of what I think he could have been trying to say. I could be way off and giving way too much credit there. I don't know. For the sake of clarity, I actually think that guy's follow-up question kind of hints more at what I was saying. Even though it's still poorly asked and his follow-up question is still poorly phrased, I do think with a high level of confidence the thing he was trying to get at is TikTok going to be accessing all kinds of things on my network outside of just the one device that I'm using right now to connect to it? I think is what he really wanted to get at, but he didn't know how to get to that topic effectively. So he ended up making a very silly question out of the whole thing, which really sums up the entire hearing. Just silly questions that didn't do anything at all. They didn't get any answers. They didn't get to the bottom of any real questions people have. It was just a genuine fucking circus. Just an absolute clown show. That's really about it. See ya. Title's not clickbait. For the first time ever, I have been served some hefty legal paperwork. And it's not, there wasn't anything ceremonious about it. It's not like any of the, crazy stories you might have heard about people being served where, like, someone will go incognito like a secret agent, like with the disguise where they have some kind of silicone mask of your mother's face on it, so you open the door and then bang, you get the paperwork served to you or anything. It was nothing like that. Just a normal, unassuming, albeit very large envelope in the mail. Now, it's not a full-blown lawsuit or anything at the moment. It is some demands because there are two YouTubers that believe I have stepped on their tootsies and infringed on their copyright. They are Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold. Now, I initially reached out to both of them because the language in this paperwork is very fishy. I'll get into that more in a moment, but I wanted to talk directly with them to see if this is like a scam or something. Like, I wanted to make sure this was like a legitimate thing before I got my lawyers on this. They haven't responded, so I'm guessing this is probably legitimate. Like, this is probably something they are actually trying to go through with. Though, I do know that there are a lot of law firms now that are trying to encroach in the space to convince YouTubers to go through copyright law to try and make money. That is something that a bunch of firms have reached out to Matt about to do on my behalf, which is unhinged why any firm would think I would ever do something like that, but it is somewhat normal in the space right now. So I think there is a chance that maybe that's what's happening here and they don't know that, but since they didn't respond, I can't say for sure. So as of now, it feels legitimate, so I will be getting my lawyers on this, obviously, to be going through the next steps of this now, most likely very long procedure. But let's go ahead and talk about what the claim is. So last year, during Hurricane Milton, I did a stream in the middle of Hurricane Milton. I'm in Tampa, and Hurricane Milton came through to spread our cheeks. I was streaming during it. While streaming, I would check like weather updates or like some streams to see the progress of Milton and what's going on in the area. Now, I think all of you know this, I don't do React content anymore, so if there's ever any like content or footage on my stream, it's very brief, and the only things I usually watch are game trailers, movie trailers, or news footage, like news broadcast, publicly available news. So for the hurricane, I thought it would be a-okay to show very brief clips of what was happening with Milton so I could stay up to date, as well as, I guess, share with the audience who was asking, like, what's going on, are you safe, what's happening? And one of the streams I pulled up was a Ryan Hall Y'all stream where he was showing a bunch of footage of Hurricane Milton, and one of the footage snippets, like one of the contributors, was Brad Arnold. You can see his footage there as one of the, on the scene, boots on the ground, reporters there. And I had that section there, that footage that included Brad Arnold's work there on my stream for less than 30 seconds. Unless I missed another instance of it somewhere, it was present for less than 30 seconds. Though I did pause at one point, so if you count the pausing with the image of the footage there, it's a little longer, but I can't imagine a still image counts. If it does, then no bussy is safe, because that would just be fully Pandora's box wide open here. Even this video would be in jeopardy then, because I did just show you a screenshot of that stream that had a still image from Brad Arnold's on the scene work. But it's just a picture, it's not moving or anything, and I have it here for 5 seconds. I guess we'll see. I think that would be really scary if that is now completely prohibitive and a potential copyright infringement. That would be very, very scary. Anyway, though, that's the extent of Brad Arnold's footage that entered into the Thunderdome of my hour-and-a-half long Hurricane Milton stream. So it was less than 30 seconds. I don't think that's an extensive period of time there, but I'll go ahead and let bygones be bygones on that and move on to Reed Timmer. Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold are both being represented by this firm, so it's a tag team here, a dynamic duo looking to double fist my butthole. Reed Timmer was on my stream for, I wrote these down because it was a couple times. 28 seconds the first time, where I showed some of Reed Timmer's, once again, on the scene footage. It was 28 seconds to see what was going on. And then once I showed that, Reed Timmer's fans came in my chat telling me that I should really check out his tank. He built like this really cool tank, and they really wanted me to see Reed Timmer's tank. So I went to his video that showed his tank, and I had that on screen in total for 1 minute and 10 seconds. I then skipped towards like more of the middle of the video to see the rockets, because everyone wanted me to see like the rockets he has on the tank. So I went there, and that was on screen for 25 seconds total. And then I just paused it, and I just had it as a still image there, so it was there for a bit longer as a still image, not the video playing or anything like that. So in total, less than 2 minutes was Reed Timmer's footage across 2 pieces of his content, one being a live stream and then the other being the tank that his fans really came in and wanted me to see. Maybe that was an elaborate ruse, a big bait from the Reed Timmer community to get me in hot water with him. And if this was a galaxy brain chess maneuver, impressive work. I hadn't seen that line before. The Scotch Open got me good there. Like it worked. The bait was successful, because now Reed Timmer is here in the squared circle with a copyright notice. And now let's talk about the actual paperwork here. As I said, the language feels very fishy to me. And the lawyer that I had glance over it to take a peek also found it to be really, really weird. One of the first things that jumped out was they claim that I've used it in multiple instances, in multiple locations. They say that I unlicensed distributed their work in the following locations, and then it gives 2 links to a YouTube video. I said a YouTube video because they only have one YouTube video there. They list it twice. They do the same link twice, but then imply that I'd done it multiple times in multiple locations. So that's already weird. It's the Hurricane Milton stream. I am not familiar with Brad Arnold's work, nor Reed Timmer's. That was the only time I'd ever even heard of their names, was during the Hurricane Milton stream I did from, well, Reed Timmer's community, and then also just from trying to stay knowledgeable on what the fuck is happening with the natural disaster that's hitting my home. Like, that's the only time I was ever even heard of their names before. And what I put on stream of theirs was there for such a small amount of time, I thought there'd be no issue there at all. The paperwork goes on to, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the exact amount, but it goes on to say that they are potentially entitled to many tens of thousands of dollars per infraction. It makes a mention of damages that could get up to 6 figures, about me potentially posting their content on all of my other socials and my other websites, which is obviously not anything that happened. It was only during that stream for like sub 2 minutes. At least from what I can tell on the stream. Maybe I missed a couple instances, but it's not a long period of time at all. But it's saying, or rather implying, that I may have been blasting it all over the place, thus they would be entitled to more money. And then it says things like, in order to comply, I would need to explain where and how I obtained their client's work to copy it. As if I had some kind of Ocean's 11 style heist where I broke into Fort Knox to steal their copyrighted footage for myself, like I took a fucking Dragon Ball or something. Which is really weird, because what do you mean, how did I find this? Those were 2 absolutely massive streams during Hurricane Milton that were there to try and keep people informed on what was happening with Hurricane Milton. They had like fucking 100,000 viewers, and like they were huge, huge streams. So I saw those streams, and I tuned in to see what was happening with Hurricane Milton for my own safety and to stay up to date on the progress of the hurricane. And the second part of that is absolutely mind-boggling about, like, where and how I found it and copied it. I didn't fucking copy it. I looked at it. I had my peepers on it very briefly. I didn't steal their work. I, like, fucking download it to a floppy disk. Don't copy that floppy type shit. Like, I didn't copy anything. I looked at their stream for a very, very, very brief period of time during a hurricane that was hitting my house, just to see what was going on and stay knowledgeable. Also, to show chat, stream what was going on in the area. I'm not exactly equipped to show it myself by just taking this camera and going outside during it. I'd get blown away. I'm fucking 5'6". That shit would ragdoll me. I don't have all the gadgetry and doodads to show it. So I looked for a very small handful of seconds at the on-the-scene storm chasers and reporters just to stay up to date. I didn't copy their work, and I wasn't trying to steal their work and pretend like it was mine or make money off of their work. It is an hour-and-a-half stream during Hurricane Milton, and their footage is present for less than 2 minutes at the end of the stream, by the way. Like, Reed Timmer's section there is literally right before I went offline, before my power got knocked out briefly. Or I can't even remember if my power got knocked out in that stream. It happened a couple times. I'm pretty sure it got knocked out in that one. I don't even remember now. But like, it's at the end of the stream. I feel like it is very odd if this is something Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold are legitimately pursuing. Or maybe this is all a huge misunderstanding, and they don't even know that I got served these papers. I'm hoping that's the case. I have no ill will towards Brad Arnold or Reed Timmer, one way or the other, I suppose. If they really feel like I have done something wrong with that, then they are fully within their right to serve me these precious little papers here that I'm patting real nicely. That it is what it is. I wanted to keep you all in the loop here because this, I'm not gonna lie, was extremely annoying. If you follow Moist Critical Gaming, you probably will have seen the League video I posted the other day where I was fuming. Well, it's because I got served those papers and I was talking to lawyers about it. So it was an extremely frustrating day. Anyway, wanted to just keep you all in the loop here on what's going on. That's really about it. See ya. You see, TikTok is doing a 1-hour time limit for users that are under the age of 18. I saw the headline, but I haven't looked into it. I saw a lot of people debating it, though. Like, if it's, like, actually real or not. I'll look it up. Let's look into it a bit. If young people hit the new limit, they'll have to enter a passcode to continue to use the service that day. But they'll be able to but they'll be able to opt out of the new measure, which TikTok says will be rolled out in the coming weeks. So this is nothing. This is literally nothing. It's actual just parental controls. This is fucking nothing. This is stupid. Didn't bother to read the article. Like I said, I only saw the headline on Twitter and people arguing about what is actually going on. Hadn't read it till just now. But this is fucking stupid. This is actual nothingness. It is like the lowest level of parental controls on your kid's TikTok. Yep. Well, that's a bunch of nothingness. No, that's cool though, Mac. I can't say I saw that. Won't matter if Congress bans the app. They do that once a year. That is an annual thing where they discuss banning TikTok. They never do. It'll never happen. They banned it on government devices in Canada, which is mentioned here. And that's as far as that will ever go. Never gonna fucking ban it. It's too big. They make money off it too. We need it banned. I mean, I don't like the platform either, but I'm not for just shutting down entire platforms because it's full of cringe. I think the shit sucks, but I'm not going to lobby for it to be taken down just because it's cringe. Though it does actually literally just steal all of your data and spy on you, which I guess is a pretty good argument to ban it straight up. Not too far off from other apps, though. Yep, that's literally everything. Google's a huge culprit for that. Google, Twitter, Facebook, all of it's selling your data. But TikTok goes a step above that. It's a little more than that. Pretty much nothing, Tori. Nothing cool. TikTok will literally read your texts. Can't say I read about that. Pretty sure Meta and Google have given information to the US government. They give information to literally anyone that'll buy it. What are you talking about? That's like pretty much every tech company. There's the bits guy. Not read text, they read your keystrokes, which is essentially the same thing. Oh, well, yeah, that is pretty much the same thing. The House Foreign Affairs Committee actually voted to give current administration power to ban TikTok US-wide. It's possible it will happen, but I don't think it will. Didn't we reach this exact same point when Trump was still in office too? I thought I vaguely recall that happening the exact same way. I even made a video on it like the first time this came up, but it still got slapped down at the end and they settled for a half measure. It is literally motioned once a year to ban TikTok. It just never happens. Banned from government devices. No, that was only in Canada. Well, actually, no, it might be in the US too. I can't recall. But this is a full ban on it. A lot of states already banned it. That's different than the entire country banning it, though. What states have it banned? Mississippi, Indiana, Louisiana, North Carolina, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. Those are the states that currently have TikTok banned. At least according to the first result here. How does it even work? No idea. I didn't know it was banned in any states like that. I thought it was only government devices. Oh, nope. That's exactly what it is. This headline is actual clickbait. In the second paragraph, nearly half the states that have banned the app have banned... Jesus. Nearly half the states have banned the app on state-owned devices. So it's still just the like actual in-power devices, not general devices. He's a prime viper. I was gonna say, how do you ban an app by state? Yeah, I guess the logistics of that would be pretty weird. My company also bans it on company devices. Nice company. I think that's smart. Lisa Risa Belisa. Fuck it. I hate the brain rot TikTok's giving people. Every video now has like Subway Surfers or something underneath it because the attention span of people have been so decayed from constant stimulation that now even when they're just listening to something or watching something, they need something else to watch while watching it. So bad. So fucking bad. So if they ban it, I'm not gonna cry about it. I certainly wouldn't be upset. But I'm not really for things just getting outright banned just because of cringe. But the whole spying thing, that I can absolutely see being very good arguments in favor of banning it. I guess another really good benefit if they do actually go through with the ban this time, after threatening it like fucking 6 times already. Another really good thing is I think overnight you see a drastic decline in the clout goblin public nuisance behavior of people just making fools of themselves and just being rowdy out in the world. Everyone all at once will no longer have access to the device that makes them the main character. So they'll stop doing half of that look at me shit, which would be pretty hype. You think it would make YouTube Shorts grow? Probably. I mean, it'd be great for YouTube Shorts, I suppose, but it's a good start regardless. If it gets banned, can't they just bypass it with a VPN? Bro, they're fucking 8 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old. They're probably not going to be using a VPN. That's an old person take. I don't know, man. I really feel... we talked about this on stream not too long ago. I feel like at this level, most of those, like, kids, like actual kids, teenagers I know all absolutely know what a VPN is. They know how to pirate. Everyone knows how to pirate shit, torrent, all that. But I think kids don't. When I was a kid, that kind of shit was a little more common with, like, piracy and all that. So I had access to all that information earlier. Whereas now everyone's too preoccupied with constant stimulation on TikTok and shit. I don't think they're reading about it or learning about any of that. I just don't. I really don't. I'm not convinced. Like I was just talking about, they have to play Subway Surfers underneath the video they're currently watching because they need that perpetual stimulation. I doubt they can sit still and learn about a fucking VPN. I just don't think so. think it's a prime Jorge. Most people don't know how to pirate anymore. That's delusional. No, I feel like most people know how to pirate now. At least I would think so. It's never been easier. Thanks to Resub Zaza. You're out of touch. Not many young people know how to pirate. I don't know. I don't. When I say young, I don't think kids know how to pirate. Like I said, I don't even think kids know what VPNs are. But I feel like once you get to like that 16, 18, like later teen ballpark, I feel like all of them know how to pirate. This is Prime Zavcio. It's not like it would be hard to learn these days. Right, I mean, like I said, it's never been easier to pirate. It legitimately just hasn't. I just don't think a kid with that Zoomer brain of perpetual stimulation would actually bother to learn about VPNs or piracy. But I think that like in the teens, like the later teens, I feel like most of them have probably toyed around with piracy by now. Did you forget Coco Melon did a nursery rhyme about VPNs? Did they really? Shit. We're doomed. That's what I'm saying, Chase. Like, when I was growing up, I was learning about, like, piracy, torrenting, and all that, like, at a very young age. I just don't think that's super common for kids now. I feel like that's much more, like, of a later development thing now, where you learn about that. That's what I'm saying. Because, like, when I was a kid, LimeWire, exactly, a great, quick example. LimeWire is fucking peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer piracy. I was using that in 4th grade. You wouldn't download a car. I actually just rewatched that ad. It floated around on Twitter. Did you know it actually doesn't say you wouldn't download a car? The original 2004 ad for that piracy, anti-piracy ad, never says you wouldn't download a car. It says you wouldn't steal a car. And it goes through, you wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't steal a TV, you wouldn't steal something else. It never said you wouldn't download a car, which I didn't know. I really had a vivid memory of it saying you wouldn't download a car. Had a full Mandela effect moment on that shit, because I really remembered it saying you wouldn't download a car. It was an old 4chan joke. I guess that just really stuck with me then, because I vividly remembered it saying you wouldn't download a car. Things are resub good weird. And the resub John Kiri. The Prime Kona. What was the name of that ad? Here, I'll pull it up real quick. I actually can't remember, so I'll just do 2004 anti-piracy. See if we can just get the raw. Oh, here. Yeah, you wouldn't steal a car. Wow, this song, I know, it's vintage. This shit is a classic. Thanks a bit, Sylvie. Yep. Never says you wouldn't download a car. Crazy. I always thought, like, right there it was you wouldn't download a car. I really remembered it. Really did. thought the whole point was about this, like, you wouldn't download a car, you wouldn't download a purse, like, immediately equating it to stealing off rip, but that was never the case. Had no clue. False memory the whole time. What was that track, though? I don't remember, but that was a big track for a bit. I think it's a Tier 1 Vizzy, and the Resub Naughty. Probably because of this ad. This ad was on everything. Fun fact, the producers of this ad stole the song they used and deceived the producer they hired. That's poetic. Thanks, Resub Silly Lily. Saw this, not the exact one, on Robots DVD. This used to be in front of like every major DVD. I don't really know why. I don't even remember why they would put this in front of DVDs, because you've already purchased the goddamn DVD. Fucking worthless. And if you were pirating the movie back then, they usually just wouldn't have this part. It would just be the raw movie. So it was just you were just preaching to the choir. People who already just bought it. Fucking worthless. Thanks, Resub Blue and the Prime Punch. Burning it to another CD. Oh yeah, I guess. I guess, but you already bought it. I don't know, I feel like it just... I feel like TikTok has been on the brink of death for like the last 5 months. I swear, like every 3 weeks there'd be a new story about how TikTok is finally going to get banned. It's going to die. The government's coming out. We're tired of TikTok stealing our hentai haven passwords. We're taking this bad boy down. There's no more. But TikTok is like a cat. This fucking thing has 9 lives. Somehow it just keeps persisting even though there's been like this crazy war on TikTok. And then a couple days ago, they're like, you know what? We're finally slapping our cock on the table. We're flopping dick out here. And we're saying, you know what? TikTok is going to be banned from the App Store starting on Sunday. Starting on Sunday, you won't be able to download TikTok. Owning TikTok will be viewed as a capital offense, and you will be hanged in front of the world to see for this kind of criminal activity. And then on November, we're erasing TikTok from everyone's phone, and we are going to send the Men in Black to neuralize every TikTok user to forget that it ever existed. That's how much we fucking hate TikTok, and we are going to ban it as hard as possible. And then Sunday rolls up, which is today, and then all of a sudden it's like, nah, TikTok's fine, Walmart bought it or something. Once again, TikTok squeaks out a victory from between their ass cheeks here out of nowhere. Me personally, I don't give a fuck one way or the other anymore if it's banned or if it's not banned. I don't know the whole history of what's actually being spied on when you download TikTok. If it has all my personal photos, I just kind of feel sorry for whoever's having to digest all of that information there, because I still have those pictures of my hairy asshole when I was taking pictures of my butthole trying to shave it. So they might just outright stop the spying program because of me. Just be like, holy shit. This is disgusting. This is more than we bargained for. Shut this entire operation down, and then I can be viewed as like a hero, some kind of patriot that fought against spyware and won. But overall, I've never liked the idea of banning things. I hate censorship, but at this point, since I don't know everything about what the fuck TikTok does behind the scenes, I just don't care one way or the other, and I don't use the app in the first place. I don't like the content. So for me, I've just been enjoying this WWE performance with this back and forth of the TikTok war. What I want to do today, though, is show you the most powerful TikTok I've ever seen. You could argue this is either the best TikTok ever made or the worst TikTok ever made. This could either be the best reason for TikTok's continued existence or the #1 reason why TikTok should be banned and viewed as a war crime. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you now.
No, I mean, like, I told her. Oh no! Did someone not make it to the toilet? Is someone a poo-poo stinky baby? Did you poo-poo stinky all over the floor? You're a poo-poo stinky baby. You're a uh-oh stinky poo-poo baby.
Now there's a lot to unpack here. This is what's called a duet on TikTok, and it is a simulated kidnapping. So, As you can see on the right, we'll go through this again, of course, and we can break it down scene by scene, but as you can see the setup, you can see these two girls acting out what seems to be a hostage that has shit herself in the bathroom, and then she's coming in kind of condemning her for that kind of behavior, for not making it to the toilet, which was right in front of her, but she's also kind of experiencing a bit of jubilation because now she gets to eat her shit, which I guess she enjoys. And this is just so much better, leagues above all of the lip syncing and dancing. Like, I don't care what your perspective is on TikTok, you have to at least appreciate that this is a lot better than like what's popular on TikTok at the moment. So let's go back, we'll go scene by scene here and see what's exactly going on here.
No, I mean, like, I told her. Oh no! Did someone not make it to the toilet?
I saw this video about a year ago, and this is kind of what I think of when I think of TikTok these days. It's just something that was really burned into my mind. It's just a wild scene that plays out here. It's like something you would see out of a Quentin Tarantino film, except there's less barefoot foot fetish shit in this little TikTok than in one of his films. So, as you can see, she's just kind of relaxing. She's not very happy about being kidnapped for obvious reasons. And then this lady comes in after having a conversation and immediately noticing that she had an episode where she took a fat shit on the floor.
Is someone a poo-poo stinky baby? Did you poo-poo stinky all over the floor?
She begins name-calling and just kind of embarrassing the hostage in this situation here, and you can see it really start to weigh in on her. She's not happy about being called an uh-oh stinky poo-poo baby. Like, who would? If somebody came in on me when I was taking a shit on the floor and called me an uh-oh stinky poo-poo baby, I'd be pretty fucking tight. I'd be like, well, you know, my hands are tied. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't exactly get to the toilet, lift it up, and take a shit there. So I just had to splatter paint it all over your floor. Like, there's nothing else I could do. And I don't appreciate being called a poo-poo stinky butt baby. Uh-oh stink master, super stink baby. Just, you know, I did this and I'm already embarrassed about it. You don't have to rub it in my face.
You're a poo-poo stinky baby.
Obviously, right here is the most climactic moment of the entire short. This is just the most shocking plot twist here. She begins eating the feces. Now, you would obviously think that she's probably just eating some fudge or like a little piece of chocolate cake or something, but I like to imagine she actually did just eat like a straight up piece of dog shit, just to really sell the performance here and just really sell the entire short. If you want to make that leap from TikTok to Hollywood, you either have to have sex with Harvey Weinstein or be willing to eat some real shit on camera. So if she did just take the easy way and just use some melted chocolate or something like that, she's just not gonna make it in Hollywood.
You're uh-oh stinky poo-poo baby.
So yeah, that's about the end of that short right there. I'll leave it up to you as the viewer to decide your own interpretation of this little short film. Kind of leave it open-ended like a Christopher Nolan ending like Inception. If you think this is a good representation for why TikTok should be banned or should stay. But yeah, anyway, crazy what's been going on with TikTok recently. Who knows, maybe in 2 more weeks it will go back to being banned. Walmart will just say, fuck this, we're going back to selling Charlie Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something, and they'll just wipe their hands with the whole TikTok deal. Who knows? It's been a wild ride for TikTok, and yeah, that's about it. See ya. I'm sure all of you know this by now, but I'm not the biggest fan of TikTok. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that I just don't fucking like it at all, really. I've given the app many tries and never really found any content I enjoy watching on it. No matter what I'm watching, I somehow always end up in the unholy circle of hell that is shitty dancing and mediocre lip syncing, which makes up about 80% of the content on the app, and the other 20% is made up of teenagers biting their lips and sticking their tongues out that makes anyone over the age of 18 feel like they're going to be arrested for even having scrolled past the video. So now, all this being said, just because I don't like TikTok, does that mean I want to see it fail? Yeah. But I don't want to see it banned. I'd like TikTok to go the same way MySpace did and just kind of fizzle out like a wet fart when something better comes along. Or better at the time. Facebook is infinitely worse than MySpace. Please don't misconstrue this. Facebook is an actual fucking plague on this planet. But at the time, it was a superior service to MySpace. That's what I would have liked to see happen if TikTok didn't improve or anything, but unfortunately, it seems the government has stepped in here and thrown its condom on the pile and said we're shutting TikTok down ourselves. And I just don't really like that. I never really celebrate when things get banned or censored. I'm never on the side of censorship because I think it's a very slippery slope and a very dangerous thing to encourage. And I totally get why they're considering taking action against TikTok. A lot of places have outright banned it due to privacy concerns because allegedly TikTok collects so much fucking user data. From the things I read, it collects everything on your phone. Every time you even touch your phone, it gets your information. The way they make TikTok sound makes it sound like one of fucking Voldemort's Horcruxes. So I understand why they're even like talking about TikTok, but I never really like when the first solution is fucking ban it. I'm sure there's other ways of combating it that don't involve just outright eliminating it, but again, I'm not an expert. I just don't really want to see what appears to be an innocent app with a lot of shady shit going on get banned without thinking of alternate solutions, since so many people's lives revolve around TikTok. As sad as that might be to some people, to a lot of others, that really is just their reality now. They're full-time TikTok content creators and they've made an entire career off it, and congratulations to them. I don't like the app, it's not for me, and I don't like a lot of the shit that goes on in it. There's a lot of pedophilia in the TikTok community and a lot of things that try and normalize pedophilia on TikTok, as well as encouraging young people to focus entirely on their looks and being narcissistic, since that's what people are rewarding on TikTok, is people that are just douchebags, or at least act like douchebags on TikTok. So I don't like that as an example for young people. So there's a lot of reasons I have for not liking the app, even beyond just finding the popular content on TikTok to be stinky dog shit. But even still, to outright ban an entire app seemingly overnight is just a really bad precedent to set, because what's to stop that power from being used in other areas? Like, what's to stop someone from shutting down Twitter or Facebook or something? Shutting down Facebook, that would probably be the only fucking time where I'm just fucking pumping my fist like, you know what? I'll make an exception because this shit fucking sucks. But you get what I'm saying. If you set the precedent where it's okay to take down the most popular fucking app in the world out of nowhere without trying any other options, that makes it very dangerous going forward for pretty much everywhere else on the internet, because it could happen to anything else. And while yes, I do understand it being a security concern because of all the data harvesting, well, it's 2020, every single fucking thing you interact with in the entire world is collecting data on you. My fucking water glass right here is probably harvesting some of my biometric data. My alarm clock, my digital alarm clock, probably collects data on me and shit and sends it to someone, the highest bidder. Every time your greasy little fingertips touch your cell phone, your data is being collected and distributed. And TikTok is no big exception in that regard. The biggest difference with TikTok is it's Chinese owned and operated. Instead of being a US company selling your data to China, it's a Chinese app directly collecting it themselves. And that seems to be the biggest pressure point for a lot of people. But in 2020, all of your data is being collected, whether you want to admit it or not. That's the sad reality of things. Privacy is an illusion these days. VPNs are super fucking important. Can't stress that enough. Really, if you don't have a VPN, you should think about it. This isn't going into a sponsor or anything, but genuinely, it's something you should be giving thought into if you actually do value your privacy. Because right now, everything that we exist in is collecting data on us, whether for targeted advertisements or whatever, and TikTok is nothing special in that regard. Although a lot of the things that are accused of are true, it's a very thorough data collection software. It is harvesting a lot of shit, which is why I understand it's very important to talk about and figure out the best course of action, and I get a lot of other countries have outright banned it, but I can never really celebrate that kind of banning of an app like that because it is a very dangerous tool to employ like that. That can lead to a lot of problems going forward with other apps that maybe aren't quite as evil as TikTok when it comes to data collection, but where do you draw the line? Once you open that can of worms, it's really fucking hard to stop. When Pandora's box is open, that bitch is not closing again. When you start to normalize banning apps overnight and censorship, you paved the way for a huge mess of problems. And I get there's a lot of people out there that like to fool themselves into thinking, oh, the government's only going to do this one time for this really evil app. And I gotta say, that's just a fucking silly thing to think. When you give that power, you're not gonna give it back. They're not gonna just be like, okay, we did it once and now we're done. That's going to be something in their Batman utility belt that they can use at any time. And I just think that's pretty scary going forward for obvious reasons. Now, of course, I do think there are cases where it's absolutely warranted, where shit gets banned. I'm not saying everything should just be this wild, wild west of degeneracy or any shit like that. There's definitely cases that warrant it. But when you're targeting the biggest app in the world, that leaves a lot of room for gray area if you're just going to ban that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the TikTok ban. Still don't like TikTok, don't want to see it banned though. And that's about it. So yeah.